They only have 7 photos and 35 videos on this page. Now, this is a free page. This is apparently just a Boston couple who are attractive and do funny things on Instagram. And people like it so much that they followed them to their OnlyFans page, I guess, where they put things, again, that are not acceptable on Instagram. Nothing too bad, but, with Instagram, they're pretty strict as far as any kind of innuendos or any kind of 18 plus material. So they created that for their fans, which is interesting. And then number 1 is something called Coffee and Cleavage. Now, this is another basically an extension of a fan site kind of concept. Now, they have 374,636 fans. So pretty drastically higher than everybody else here. 16 pictures and 31 videos. Now, this is these 2 women. One's named Lynn Marie, and the other's named Chantel Monique. They have a podcast that's called Coffee and Cleavage, where they talk about life, sex, dating, and everything in between. So they've just basically taken the concept and said, hey, come over and check out our OnlyFans. They are 2 attractive ladies, for sure. And they just basically have this OnlyFans page. So those were the top 10 non-celebrity, everyday household kind of names that are on OnlyFans. So what can we learn from that list? Okay, so free is the best word in advertising. This backs up what I've been teaching in this podcast, talking about, as far as removing the wall between you and your client. That small amount of text that OnlyFans gives you is not enough to sell anyone. I mean, it's one line. Even for the one that we have for OnlyFans Hero for our podcast and everything, just trying to write out one line that this is the place where the OnlyFans podcast, it gets cut off. I mean, it's no amount of space whatsoever. So, just getting someone to hit the free click, here button is a lot. I mean, if you think about how hard it is to get a follower, out there on Instagram, think about it that way. Like, how hard it is just to get someone to click on that button and start following you to see what kind of entertainment you plan to provide them. That's difficult. So, I mean, the barrier between not just following, but also giving someone their money, it's like, that's an even bigger barrier. So what a lot of these people are doing is they are saying, hey, this is free. Check me out. Get to know me, and when you do get to know me, you're going to enjoy me, and I'm going to continue giving you free things, but if you want this premium, then you go ahead and pay for it. And I think that that's, across the board, how most businesses work. It's how most, people make money. Like, you'll always see if someone gets successful out either on Instagram or on YouTube, they start selling merch. They start selling merchandise because now you're like a super fan. And as a super fan, you want to rock whatever, new shirt that they have just produced with their funny saying on it because you're a super fan. And I think that's what the concept that a lot of the people who are succeeding that are non-celebrities are doing here. Is they are saying, okay, here, get to know me, and then I can sell you this other premium stuff. And that premium stuff for a lot of people is the pictures and the videos. But definitely getting them in and seeing that to begin with is really helping them out. Okay, and then also they are incentivizing tips. So, don't make customers guess about what they are getting. Tell them exactly what they will get. And clearly, and they will respond. So for a lot of these pages, what they're saying and whether or not they can back up that this is $5,000 worth of content or $1,000, I don't know. Again, there's no one who's going to come around and determine what your content is worth. You get to determine what your content is worth. So if you feel like 2 videos are worth $1,000, they're worth $1,000. The market, will tell you whether or not they're not. So they're putting out there and they're saying, as soon as you subscribe, and again, they're subscribed for free. So I think it also plays into humans' nature to, give back. So, you've received something, certainly when someone remembers your birthday and they get you a gift, or they bring you a cupcake, or they bring you a balloon. When it's their birthday, you remember it's their birthday, or you want to know it's their birthday because now you want to get them something as well. So what's happened here is that people come in, they feel like they've gotten a bunch of free things, they feel guilty about it. That's okay. And with that guilt, then you can then say, I am giving you this free. Maybe you could just tip me. That'd be nice. So I think they're using that with the incentivization, with, hey, I'm giving you something free, and now maybe you can tip me. And not only that, but I'm going to give you all this stuff when you tip me. I mean, this is what a lot of people have been doing for years, as far as, coaches and motivational people and business kind of ventures. They do that all the time. That's how they build up their clientele and become famous. So you should utilize that same concept for your own success. And it also shows that building up social presence is important. And I'll say this, if you're no one on social media, it's going to be hard to be someone on OnlyFans. So, if you're not out there, impacting and being impactful in your social space, why are you going to be famous on OnlyFans? Like, what are you going to sell that's going to make you behind a wall, that's going to make you more popular than what's out there in the world without a wall? So if you can make yourself at least popular somewhere, and it dismisses the whole concept that people say, okay, well, you can only succeed on Instagram, or only succeed on Reddit, or only succeed on Twitter. Again, people find different ways to succeed. And, by being on different things, like I couldn't even find Coffee and Cleavage on social media, but they have their podcast. I could find this Hammy TV on Instagram where they're ridiculously popular, but I've never heard of them. And they might also now be on TikTok. That might be working for them too. So, being on a particular, but being somewhere is important. So I'm saying is that being in some social space. So yes, a podcast is a social space. Instagram is a social space. TikTok is. Each of and Reddit, they're all their own unique social spaces with their own unique audiences that enjoy that kind of product. And people are now coming up with audio only social networks. So something like, a podcast, or people who are good at podcasts are going to start blowing up on audio only social networks. And those who were successful on video only, they might still be successful there, but now there's going to be a whole new realm for people who are really good at speaking. So again, you're going to have all these people from all these different places, but it shows that having a social presence somewhere is important, building that fan base up and then extending it out to OnlyFans. All right, so also, this is not all about looks. As I've gone over in the previous podcast, why is being hot not enough to succeed on OnlyFans? When I went through these top 10 people, generally speaking, attractive, but, these were not people that you would say, okay, these were actor type, looks, these were normal people. And I think that's the appeal of OnlyFans. That it's normal people, it's normal looking people. They might be slightly more attractive than the average person, but they're not like, oh my gosh. So don't ever feel like you're not enough, or not attractive enough, or not, talented enough to be on OnlyFans or to succeed, because they're all succeeding and they are not like, oh my gosh, So I just really think that's an important concept to remember when looking over at people, that your amateur nature, your normal looks, your normalness is an advantage on something like OnlyFans. Because if somebody wanted something different, they'd go somewhere where they could just look at models, or they could just look at, the TV and turn on a soap opera where everyone looks like a model. That's not what they're trying to do. They like the amateur nature of OnlyFans, and that's why they're there. Okay, and also most people on the top accounts aren't even getting nude or naked. That's, surprising probably for most people with the concept that they have in their heads of OnlyFans. So the site is not all about nudity. It's about leveraging what and maximizing what you have. So for someone who is doing cosplay, and that's very popular on OnlyFans, most of those people are not getting naked, and people are still subscribing, people are still interested in them because they have created a relationship in the mind. And we've gone over that a lot in the podcast. So people are like, oh, okay, I know this person. And I'll tell you, people who dress up stay in your mind. Like, you can remember the person who looked really good in some costume of something that you're really interested in. You're like, wow, I remember they did so well. And again, like, you're going to remember a couple of people perhaps for nudity, but you're going to remember more people for what they created than that. So it's important to look over and say, okay, most of the people in this top 10 are not getting, doing, 18 plus, really 18 plus material, maybe 18 plus the way Instagram and TikTok looks at it. But, for most of us, not that kind of material. So that's important to remember. And then, lastly, successful accounts create a system. Those who succeed have a system set up that works for them, that creates them wealth and prevents burnout. So, I could see with the top creators, they basically have created systems for less work for themselves, which is great. Basically, it's not so much automated, but they're saying, hey, here's this free account. I created all of this material, and now I'm going to sell you this material I created, but I'm not having to constantly churn out nonstop material. They're setting up a system where they create stuff that people might want. They post regularly if that's what they want to do. Like, one person said, I'm going to post every single day. Other people said, I'm going to post weekly, or they post when it's convenient for them. But they're creating a system where they can constantly produce without burnout. So, they get up, it's their job, that's what they want to do, or maybe they have another job, but they have basically created a system that works for them that will also work for the subscribers. So everyone wins. And they can continue then creating the content that people are enjoying because they're not burning out. All right, so that was the top 10 non-celebrity accounts in OnlyFans and what we can learn from them. Again, my name is Richard Lewis. I'm the founder of OnlyFans Hero and the Learn OnlyFans Marketing 101 course on Udemy. You can find this podcast on Instagram at OnlyFans Secrets Podcast. We're also on Reddit at r/OnlyFans Secrets, a marketing community on Reddit, as well as being, of course, on OnlyFans itself at onlyfans.com/OnlyFans Hero. Please subscribe for free and follow us for the latest updates on this podcast. And you can also find us on TikTok at OF Secrets Podcast, as well as always being on Twitter at OnlyFans Hero, where we run hourly free promotion for OnlyFans creators. Please hop on there, continue to grow by 500 plus followers every single day, both creators and subscribers. And you can also reach out to me directly on Twitter at OnlyFans Hero. If you have any questions about this podcast, have any questions about OnlyFans itself, or have any questions you want included in our Sunday Secrets episode, I would love to hear from you on there. And as always, if you have an opportunity to leave a review for this podcast, please do so, as it helps others find that the podcast exists. And as always, I appreciate you listening every day to the podcast. Continue to support it, subscribe, and follow. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day.